We were in Bilbao to see an architectural monument and meet the legend behind it.
I love that
Tinkling
sound.
bells of the sheep.
Yeah.
Just too cute.
That's what I love about Spain. So different. Every area of Spain is just completely unique.
La Rioja de País Vasco. I simply love it. And that smell
Espectacular.
es super fino. Es
Super fino. Hacen vino.
ay, ay, ay.
I feel like I'm in the presence of a Zen master here, you know?
And now we're gonna flip them over. The best soup invented ever by a chef is the juice that is in the head of the
La
shrimp.
mejor sopa del mundo. It's amazing.
Where are Mario and Bittman? I think they went to work out in the gym. Please, there's no way they're in the gym. If they're in the gym, I'll run naked through these wine vineyards.
A blue cheese from here. Wow. Bueno.
1, 2. On the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. Life I love is making music with my friends. I can't wait to get on the road again. On the road again. Like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. We're the best of friends, insisting that the world keep turning our way. And our way is on the road again. Just can't wait to get on the road again. The life I love is making music with my friends. And I can't wait to get on the road again.
Galicia had been heaven. We had gotten down and dirty with the mariscadoras, and we were ankle deep in shellfish love. We honeymooned in Albarino wine country and celebrated again over open fire.
I've got a beautiful lobster. Buenas tardes.
We had finally completed our pilgrimage to Santiago and then kept right on going,
This is a real slice.
seeking out the more consumable moments of Galicia.
I think we've achieved a new heaven.
Grandfather, hey, stop that.
I was in pulpo paradise. Claudia was on fire,
Fire!
and Bittman was, as usual, there to dampen the flames.
Go jump in the lake.
I did.
We were now in País Vasco, or Basque Country. Claudia and Biddy were headed into deep countryside, while Gwyneth and I were doing the urban thing. We were in Bilbao to see an architectural monument and meet the legend behind it.
They dropped the city in a bowl of green.
It's such an ideal location. I mean, it's just
In LA, they'd
gorgeous.
have houses all up that hill.
Oh, can you imagine?
In New York, they'd have high rises all up that hill.
In New York, that
Trump's
hill would
name
be
on
New
it.
Jersey.
Exactly. Look at it from here.
The quality of the light reflected off the titanium, it's so amazing. But Frank Gehry is, I mean, he really is an artist. You know, his buildings are not, they're almost not,
They're almost
they
not
almost
buildings.
don't even have to function as buildings.
Right.
They're so incredible. They're so innovative.
This town is great. Before this was here, this town was not great.
This
Look at
town
these.
is alive. It's really happening.
Exactly. A university and one of the hottest museums in the country, and the town goes from 0 to 60 in 10 years. It's a European icon as much as anything in any town,
It's
even
an
if not more.
international icon.
Right.
I think it's his best building.
You think so?
I do. This, to me, is just...
This is just the peak. This is perfection. Let's go take a look.
Wow.
This is impressive. Hello, my little perrito. What do you think?
I think Jeff Koons knows what he's doing.
I think I've come a long way with Jeff Koons in the last 10 years. I used to be a little worried about it. Now I really like it. Now I think it's the greatest thing.
Las ovejas. I love
little
that
tinkling
sound.
bells of the sheep.
Yeah.
Just too cute.
That's what I love about Spain. So different. Every area of Spain is just completely unique.
When you come from the States, you think you have to drive 500 miles, 1,000 miles to change climates and stuff. And here in Europe, it seems you drive,
Yeah.
200 kilometers, everything changes. The hills are so steep.
Yeah, mira,
Mira.
so beautiful and so green everywhere. Breathe in and breathe out, baby.
It's fantastic.
Hola.
Hola.
Welcome.
Encantada.
Waiting for GP and me at the Bilbao Guggenheim was Juan Ignacio Vidarte, museum director, who took us on a private whirlwind tour of the Gugi.
So, I imagine that there's a great deal more tourism now than there was before. Has it become one of the main industries of the city?
Well, certainly, I mean, it has been a dramatic change because the city got almost no tourism before and now gets 1 million visitors a year just to the museum.
Wow.
How many?
A million a year.
Wow.
But in terms of the economic structure of the city, it's still a very small part.
Right.
But I think it has helped the city to change its outlook. It has a much more cosmopolitan international outlook.
Progressive.
Yeah, progressive. 70% of our visitors come from outside Spain,
Right.
which is a big number.
Mostly French?
Well, about 20% of them are French, but from all over Europe and also from America. We have about 10% American visitors every year.
Tell me a little bit about this.
Well, we are
Magnificent spider.
just below this work called Maman. It's a work by Louis Bourgeois, who is part of the collection, and is one of the public sculptures around the museum. So you saw the poppy, Jeff Koons, when we were coming in. We'll be having these red arcs from Daniel Buren.
So the outside's cool. Can we go take a look at the inside?
Yes, please go in. Esta es parte de una exposición, una de las dos exposiciones que tenemos en el museo para celebrar el 10º aniversario. Y dentro de esa exposición esta es la sala dedicada a la época del pop y aquí tenemos obra de James Rosenquist, de Andy Warhol. Yes, that's...
And then the match, who did the match? I don't
The
recognize.
match is Klaus Oldenburg, who is also an important artist of that group.
Cy Twombly is one of my favorite.
Well, this is the latest acquisition from the museum. This series on Commodus, a work by Cy Twombly from 1963. It's a series of 9 paintings. This is a Robert Rauschenberg barge.
I love the Gang of 4 guitar solo that I get when I look at a Russian. Very jarring. Well, clearly this one was originally done by Ellsworth Kelly for the Batali family using my orange. It never made it to my private collection.
This is alone. Jasper Jones. We tried to make this room a very exquisite room of Jasper Jones, Cy Twombly, and Robert Rauschenberg, and this is a loan we got for the exhibition. It's from the artist.
Dulce éxito, eh?
I'm very proud about that loan.
It's beautiful.
Next, GP and I were taken up to the roof for a bird's eye view.
Well, from up here, you clearly dropped something right into Basque Country, didn't you?
Yeah, someone said that it was like an outer space creature which had landed here, but which was here forever. So it was like completely awkward to the city, but completely in sync with the city. And I think it's the way it fits and blends with the hill, the green hill behind, and with the city in front, and with the river in the middle. I think he got it right.
The he referred to is none other than Frank Gehry himself, who literally transformed a turn-of-the-century industrial landscape into a now vibrant and modern city.
There was an industrial site here with cranes and shipping containers. This is a shipping port. The Basques had they still do have a shipping port facility. They were in making steel products, working in steel mills, which were being deaccessioned. It was a culture on a decline financially. They asked me for the Sydney Opera House, Minister of Culture, Minister of Finance, President, Mayor. They asked for that.
Wow.
They said they want something.
Astonishing.
That was scary. I mean, when somebody asks you for that, what do you you want to pull the covers over your head.
Right.
So we just responded. Now, actually, something never happened to me before. The very first sketch I did in the hotel, you would recognize this building.
Wow.
But since I'm too insecure to have gone with that, I spent the next 6 months trying to make something out of this. I had started working with shapes like this earlier, so it's not like an invention that just came out of the blue. It evolved. If you came to my office, it looked like a tailor shop. Each piece was laid out like flat patterns, and the wall was filled with the ones we rejected until we got it just perfect and it fit together like we wanted it to. It's not something that is a souffle that happened.
Right.
It was very deliberate all along the way. The problem for guys like me is how do you preserve the feelings, passion, through the process of all the people that are going to touch it. And that's what the miracle of buildings are, is that thousands of people's hands work on a building, right? And so how do you keep this energy, and that's something that, I just focus on from beginning to end.
Do you start with the external aspects of a building?
No, everybody thinks I do, but I don't.
You start with the
I
internal.
work from inside out.
Wow.
I'm a very traditional, functional, the spaces have to be such and such and such. There isn't one piece of steel that's the same in this building. And they 6 bidders bid on it, and they were within 1% of each other. That means when that happens, that means the documents they're bidding on are very tight,
Right.
which the computer made it possible. And they were 18% under budget.
You're kidding. That's miraculous.
That's unique in the world.
Yeah, so it was really sort of a miracle. The whole thing's been a miracle for me.
How do you sort of go about selecting your materials?
It's an interesting process. I've been using metal on the exterior of buildings for a long time because it's the only material you can make a roof and a wall out of. If you think about it, you can't take plaster and make a roof with it.
Right.
And it's very difficult to make a stone roof. And the tradition of metal roofs goes back to the ages, I wanted to make three-dimensional things where the roof and the walls and everything were the same. You don't get many choices. So you want something that reflects the light and plays with the light. So the only choices you have are stainless steel and 50 variations of stainless steel. We made mock-ups of stainless steel, and in the bad light, they went dead, really dead. And I was frustrated about it. We figured out ways to scratch it, to get light in, to give it perky. We dyed it, we did everything. We stamped on it.
Amazing.
I was in LA in my office, and I was very frustrated about it. And I was rummaging through the materials file, and I found this piece of titanium this big. And I looked at it, and I said, nail it to the telephone pole outside, and let's see what happens. By some miracle, it rained in LA that day. And the piece of titanium was golden. And I said, eureka, that was the eureka moment.
Light bulb moment.
So then I priced it, and it was twice the cost of stainless steel, so we couldn't do it, not in our budget. So then I got clever, and I decided, well, titanium is stronger, so you can make it thinner. So I made it half the thickness of stainless steel, so then it was within the ballpark.
Oh, that's great.
And we put it out to bid as an alternate. And the Russians dumped titanium on the market that period, and it came in under.
Oh, great.
And we spent